Black Clover chapter 308, titled Yuno Grimberry, but however you say it, it doesn't matter. This chapter was hype, and I called it. I literally called it so long ago, like 8 months ago. I was talking about Yuno's true magic, like literally called it. Yeah, lots of people when you think about Yuno's magic, we obviously think about Lich and Tetia. We think of his kind of elven ancestors, but we really never think about his actual parents. Like we never think about Lois and Seal. Like we never actually think about what their magics could have been. If you want to go back and watch that video, the link will be up here in one of these spots. I don't know where they be putting it up at, but like I said, I literally did call it all those months ago. Proclaimed King of Black Clover, as we established not that long ago.
And new King of Black Clover, as this Black Clover Jeopardy indicated, is with a total of 2,500 points. Quancredible. Clap it up.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
I called it. That's all I'm gonna say there. But this chapter though was really hyped for a lot of different reasons. Had a lot of development, had some Fenrir Langris moments, had some plot progression. This chapter was dope to me, especially with me being a Yuno fan. I kind of gotta like it a lot. But in the very beginning, I am gonna take it in order. We have Fenrir and Langris going up against Xenon, and we have like a really impressive teamwork from Langris and Fenrir. When you can honestly, these two together can probably beat the majority of people in the cast. This duo is probably clapping most other duos, because you got like the ultimate offense and the ultimate I guess maneuverability, or the ultimate speed. Depends on how you want to count teleportation, if you count it as speed or if you count it as maneuverability. I guess I wouldn't be mad either way. But Fenrir and Langris are going for a opening on Xenon, and Xenon, he literally can't even touch him. Like he's just like flailing his bones around all over the place trying to hit him, and he can't. And actually, before I keep going, that's one thing about Xenon that has kind of been really lackluster to me. Xenon's like, his little development and all that is cool, but he just keeps flailing his bones around. It's like, bruh, do another spell. Like goodness gracious. Like when we first got to see him and he did like his Eternus Fang and like his other bone spell or something, like I was assuming he was gonna have more spells, but like it's like every time we see Xenon, he's just flailing them bones around, them little bone whips. It's getting kind of whack to me, to be honest with you. But at any rate, Xenon cannot hit them just because Fenrir is just really fast. And Fenrir even takes note that they're going to have to kind of do this quick, because Langris probably won't be able to hold up, because Langris has already taken damage. Langris has already been fighting Xenon for a prolonged period of time, as well as he's keeping up his monozone so they can even activate spells. So Langris has already been through a lot. And when they finally go in, Xenon thinks he has them right where he wants them, so he does like his little like combine little crush attack with all his things, but they actually appear behind him. We get to see Fenrir using the mana method to speed up his own teleportation, which is really dope that Fenrir was able to use runes and mana method to further increase his own abilities, which is, I'm a huge crusader for Fenrir in terms of his character, in terms of his power, just who he is. So I'm like a big fan of Fenrir. So this was great to see from him. And from behind him, they do launch an attack that slashes right through him with spatial magic. However, we do find out that it did not do anything. Now, I did say on Twitter when I first seen the spoilers that I think that this kind of confirms that spatial magic isn't arcane. But what I am going to do is I am going to like reverse that statement, even though we still haven't had it confirmed whether it is or it isn't arcane. I kind of think it could be one of those instances where spatial magic, though it is one of the irregular types of magic that Lord Petka talked about previously, I still think it more than likely is arcane, but I think it's just Langris was too tired. Like after seeing some people say that, that's what I kind of think. I think Langris was just too tired to take out Xenon's heart, honestly. It's because I feel like if this was full power Langris, or not full power, but like full strength Langris with Fenrir, I think they probably could have damaged his actual heart. Even though they did damage his body, so you can make the argument there. Like if someone said that just spatial magic is not arcane because it's not confirmed that he didn't destroy the heart, I wouldn't be mad at that. Like I can't refute that. Like it is true, that is what happened. But I'm still just going to hold out on my own personal headcanon that it is, and Langris just was, and he was just too weak to actually do it. And then with Fenrir and Langris defeated, Yuno is starting to regain consciousness, and he wakes up to see the sight of Fenrir and Langris essentially losing and about to die, and Xenon is regenerating, and he says like I still win anyway. And it's kind of crazy right here, because Xenon and his devil, the way that both of their magic works, bone magic as well as spatial magic, should not have any way to regenerate. So I want to say this is like the first devil that we've seen that is just able to regenerate without their magic, like just regenerate for the sake of doing it, which is kind of crazy. Like, I wonder, is Tabata going to explain that further, or it's just something that like Supreme Devils can do? Because even Majecula used like high speed curse regeneration. You could argue that maybe that was just because she's in a weakened state and has to do that, but it's still the first time we've ever seen that. So honestly, Xenon just having passive regen is kind of crazy in itself. And I'm assuming his is probably similar to Zagrid, where you have to actually destroy his heart to kill him. It's probably one of those things where if you blow up his devil's heart, he'll probably die. So I mean, it's not quite as good as Dante's in my opinion, because Dante, you could just destroy his heart and he'd still come back. You know, he'd still live. But Xenon, you blow up his heart, he's probably dead. But after all this, you have Yuno like really feeling down and sorry for himself, saying, like, asking himself, like, did he make the wrong choice? Like, he tried so hard and all of this. And then after all that, Yuno starts crying, which is actually really sad. Like, I know I'm smiling right now, but it is actually sad when you think about it, especially considering the fact Yuno hasn't cried since that promise he made with Asta all those years ago when they both promised to become like the Wizard King stuff. Like, he just does not cry anymore. Even when the Golden Dawn base was massacred, he let out a yell, like a scream, but he didn't cry. He's, you know, if you look at him, like, you can see there's no tears. He didn't cry, but this time he just lets it out, just full on tears. He is upset, and he really goes over, like, you know, have I made the wrong choices? This is all I'm actually worth. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the scanlation version better than the Viz version, which is how the dialogue flowed. Not saying that the Viz version is bad. I know Viz typically has a bad rep for just translations, but I really do, I really did like both of them. I just happen to like the scan version of this a little bit better. But in the midst of that, Yuno remembers that he made a vow with Asta, and he's like, you know, this is not all that I am, and he gets back up. And in the moment of him getting back up, this like spirit type thing approaches him, and, you know, he says, like, yeah, that's right, I am you, but you have your own strength as well. And you could easily assume that this is the actual elven soul of Lich and Tetia's son, because as people have been showing me on Twitter, Lich and Tetia's son did not actually pass on to the next life when all the other elves did. It appeared to stay with Yuno. And even go way more into depth about how Yuno's actual magic, he probably has his own, and that the wind magic is Lich and Tetia's kid. And even in this chapter, a grimoire appears before Yuno that apparently will probably have his actual magic that he is using. And even we can even see Lich, or not Lich, and we can even see Partry in this chapter saying, like it's as I thought, his magic it's Lich and Tetia's, and he cuts off, but he's obviously about to say Lich and Tetia's son. And this dude with the scar on his face, from where all this even started from, he said, I knew it, Master Yuno is, you know, basically getting his grimoire and all of that. So he was about to say what it is. Obviously Tabata is saving what his actual magic is for next chapter, which I'm super pumped for to see what it is. I've seen all kind of things speculated between like solar magic, sun magic, more light magic, different kind of space magic, you know, cloud magic, different kind of wind magic, all of that. If you've seen the video, I'm going with ether magic, or aether magic, however you want to pronounce it, which is the wind of the gods. That's what ether or aether is. If you want like the full breakdown, like I've been saying before, you got to check that out, because I don't want to like re-go through an entire video within another video. That's kind of a lot, so you would just have to check that out. So in the end, we see Yuno standing with two grimoires, which is the first we've ever seen. We've seen multiple people with dual types, such as like Charmy or Mars, or even the like devil users, but all of them still only have one grimoire in each of those instances, while Yuno has two, which is hype. I'm super hyped for this chapter and for next chapter, just to see exactly what he has. I will say the only thing though, if you wanted to complain, and one thing that did kind of bother me, is that it is awful convenient that Xenon blasted Yuno into a grimoire tower section of the castle, and that it just randomly decided to activate when Yuno was in there. That's probably the only excuse, or the only thing that's kind of weird. Now, I have talked to a bunch of people about this, and you can make the argument that this isn't a random grimoire tower. This is the royal grimoire tower, where the royalty gets their grimoires from. So I guess that would make sense to be in the castle, because if you, as you know, in the Clover Kingdom, grimoire towers are just like scattered kind of all over the place, and you just go to one and get one. But it would make sense that royalty would have one in their castle. So if that's the case, then I can kind of give it a pass on that. And he did just get conveniently hit onto the center, as opposed to just being in the general area. So it makes sense that he wouldn't get it till he's in the center. So, you know, it's one of those. So if all those things are true, then I can kind of give it a pass, but that doesn't make it any less convenient. All in all, this chapter was like It's crazy. I want to say 10. I'm gonna just say 10 off of pure hypeness for Yuno. Next chapter will probably be even more amazing to see what it is. Let me know what you guys think his magic is going to be down below. Whether you think it's sun, solar, light, ether, along with me being the wind of the gods, or just something totally different. I've seen some people say earth, because then you might get the earth spirit too. I've seen all kind of stuff. So I'm just very curious to know what you guys think he's going to get down below. That being said, make sure you guys like the video, so subscribe to the channel for more content. I do truly appreciate you guys for all the support. You guys are amazing. I just want you guys to know that. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all in my next video.